Hello, and welcome back to another video. And today, we'll be explaining the many siblings that Spencer had that were built sometime in the 1930s. We already know about one of them, Mallard, who was Spencer's brother. So, what are the other things, the other Mallards? Well, we'll be discussing A4s 1 through 9, plus so many others. So here are Spencer's siblings 1 through 4 and their origin stories. The unknown A4 was the original model and nothing more than a prototype. He was built in 1923 and never had an official name, nor did he live long enough to ever receive one. He was painted white with light grey lining and was proud of who he was. He was the only model to be lost constantly and was mainly used as a freight locomotive in Vickerstown. Since he was a prototype, the unknown A4 would do anything he can. He would constantly break down to the point where the controller couldn't even afford to keep him anymore. Despite this, the unknown A4 would prove his controller wrong, but unfortunately, its constant breakdowns took a toll on him, and then he was sent for scrap in 1924. Brian was the second model built, who was basically a modified version of the unknown A4. Built in 1926, he was the first locomotive to run on the main line as a passenger train. However, in 1929, a giant rock crushed him when he was working in the mine, and then he was placed on static display in 1930. Then he started being rebuilt on that year and complete in restoration in 1931. However, in 1952, he had his last run on the main line and was sent to a museum in 1955. Benjamin is the third model that was built with more durable metal. Built in 1929, he was sent to work in a railway in Italy as a passenger locomotive. However, in 1935, he never went back to Italy, and then he returned to England on that year in 1935. However, in 1939, he started taking men to join World War II, and he was happy to be here. Zion is the fourth model. Built in 1930, he was sent to work in a railway in Belgium as a war machine train. Despite this, Zion is based on the LNER Class A4 4468 Mallard built in 1938. Well, however, in 1937, he got shipped to the United Kingdom. As time went on, he never went back to Belgium, and instead, he joined his siblings. Jack is the fifth model and one of the yellow A4s to be yellow. Built in 1931, he was known for being called Mustard Mallard, which could be mean to him. Jack had his last run in 1987 and came on display at the museum in 1988. He already took the existing Class A4 model and modified it to become yellow, unlike any other A4 that is blue, green, or silver. Chris is the sixth model built and was built in 1932 as a mail train to deliver the post. He looked like the LMS Duchess of Hamilton 6229. He was painted red with yellow stripes and was proud of who he was. But by 1972, he had his last run and was sent on display in 1973, but returned to Steam in 2002. Jeff is the seventh model built and also a modified version to the others. Built in 1933, he was sent to work in a railway in Austria. Despite this, Jeff retired between 1967 and 1971, but in 1945, after when World War II ended, he got shipped to the UK, but then never returned to Austria, the place where he was built. A Class A4 that looked like Union South Africa and the Dwight D. Eisenhower. His name is Martin. Built in 1934, and he was sent to the United States to become the Dwight D. Eisenhower, which is the President of the United States of America. But sadly, the Dwight D. Eisenhower is dead so long ago, but then he was built in Britain, and then stayed in Britain for a little while, but as time went on, he never went back to the UK. David is the 10th and second to last model built in this collection. Built in 1936. I forgot to mention, Spencer was already the 9th model built in the order that it goes in. However, he was sent to work in a railway in England as a Santa Claus train on Christmas, but was also used for shunting like Diesel 1, which was one of Diesel 10's siblings. Despite this, David already took the name from the singer, David Essex, and was happy to be him. Paul is the last out of the 11 siblings of Spencer. He was built in 1937 and was also to be a really nice engine, but could be sometimes evil like other villains in movies and TV shows, just because of his black color, but he had never spoken much and mainly kept to himself. However, in 1956, he retired from service and would not go on the main line again, but he ignored this advice and continued running on the main line.